What if your childhood memories were actually part of a larger experiment? What if those blank spaces of memories from your elementary years was actually preparing you for something you didn't even know about? My name is Anne Marie, also known as Slightly Scattered, and today we're uncovering the truth about the Gateway Tapes. For the newcomers, welcome to this channel. This is where we piece together the connection between the GATE program and the Gateway Tapes by using my own personal experiences as a roadmap. When I'm not chasing vibrations, I'm sharing my creative work and digital art right here. Join the community by hitting that like and subscribe button. I drop a new GATE video once a week, plus daily shorts documenting my progress through the Gateway Tapes and my creative process.
In the late 1950s, Robert Monroe was a successful, straight-laced radio executive. He wasn't a mystic or a hippie. He was a businessman. But in 1958, Monroe began experiencing vibrations in his sleep, followed by what he called out-of-body experiences, or OBEs. Initially fearing for his sanity, Monroe began to document these events with the precision of a scientist. This curiosity transformed from a personal crisis into a lifelong quest to understand the nature of human consciousness. This is the story of how one man's strange experiences led to the creation of the Monroe Institute and a series of audio exercises that some claim can unlock the secrets of the universe, the Gateway Tapes.
I believe within all of us is a beautiful story waiting to be told. Mine is just slightly scattered.
Robert Monroe realized that if he could induce these states of consciousness, there must be a biological gateway to them. He founded a research and development division within his company to study the effects of sound on the human brain. The breakthrough was a technology called hemisync, hemispheric synchronization. By playing slightly different frequencies in each ear, known as binaural beats, the brain creates a third frequency to bridge the gap. This encourages the left and right hemispheres of the brain to work together in a state of coherence. Monroe discovered that specific frequencies could reliably induce different states, from deep relaxation to high focus alertness, and eventually, the expanded states of awareness required for astral projection. In 1971, he published Journeys Out of the Body, which brought the term OBE into the mainstream. By the 1970s, Monroe established the Monroe Institute in Faber, Virginia. It became a hub for researchers, psychologists, and curious seekers. The flagship program developed here was the Gateway Experience. The Gateway Tapes are a series of guided meditations and hemisync exercises divided into waves. They don't just teach relaxation, they provide a roadmap for focus level. Focus 10 is mind awake, body asleep. Focus 12, a state of expanded awareness where you begin to perceive beyond your five senses. And Focus 15, the state of no time. The goal wasn't just trippy visuals, it was personal transformation. Participants reported remote viewing, meeting non-physical entities, and gaining a profound sense that they were, as Monroe famously put it, more than their physical bodies. For decades, the Gateway Tapes were a niche interest for the New Age community, but in 2003, a declassified CIA document from 1983 titled Analysis and Assessment of Gateway Process went viral. The report, authored by Lieutenant Colonel Wayne M. McDonnell, provided a highly technical, scientific validation of Monroe's work. The CIA was interested in whether Gateway could be used for intelligence gathering, specifically through remote viewing. The document describes the universe as a complex system of interacting energy fields and suggests that the gateway tapes successfully allow the human consciousness to phase out of the physical space-time dimension. This wasn't just meditation to the government. It was a potential weapon of the Cold War. Robert Monroe passed away in 1995, but his institute remains one of the world's leading organizations for the study of human consciousness. Today, the Gateway Tapes have found a second life on the internet, with millions of people exploring these focus levels from their own bedrooms. Whether you see it as a scientific tool for brain optimization or a spiritual ladder to other dimensions, the history of the Monroe Institute reminds us that the greatest frontier isn't outer space, it's the space within our own minds. Now that we know a brief history of Robert Monroe and the Gateway Tapes, I want to take you into the introduction to my experience with the Gateway Tapes.
Hey guys, so I wanted to take a few minutes today to talk to you about something that I've been kind of starting to research, because my awakening journey is very much a multifaceted thing here, and I've been researching and looking more into the GATE program and that stuff that people have been talking about. I've watched countless videos about it, about Mall World and all of that stuff, and I would like to talk about my experiences. I was born in 1989, and I was in elementary school in the 90s, so I have a lot of amnesia when it comes to my elementary school years, and even up into my middle school years. I have a lot of amnesia. I can remember bits and pieces of things, but I can't remember a lot. However, I started watching these YouTube videos yesterday about the GATE program, and it had been a while since I looked at it, and you know, the CIA involvement, the testing for ESP and stuff that they did. And I had just kind of put it on the back burner. And then I started really getting into a routine and exercising, and I went back to these Gateway Tapes because I have been fascinated by the Gateway Tapes, and I have a strong connection to that. The first time that I heard about the GATE program and this conspiracy, and I listened to the first few seconds of the Gateway Tapes, I had an immediate reaction to it. An immediate reaction, as if I had heard this many times before, that sound, the little beepy sound. And it gave me this unsettling feeling. It was very unsettling. But I've worked through a lot of the fear and the anxiety that I have in regard to that, because I believe that I do possess special gifts. And I think that I was tested. I think that I was observed. I think that I was watched. I think I'm still probably being watched. But I think that maybe, in my case specifically, that they kind of, the surveillance of me in particular kind of disappeared based on my life path and where I went and what happened. But I do think that I was, tests were administered on me and things like that. And here's why. When I was a little girl, my family shamed me for this. They made fun of me. They made sure that I didn't continue doing it after a certain age, because they thought it was bizarre. They thought it was weird. And I was elementary school age when I started doing this. I would pace around the backyard or pace around my room holding a stick in my hand, or like a wand or something, just something like this, okay? And I would be talking to the stick like this, telling it things, stories, giving it details. I couldn't exactly remember what I was doing though. And I remember my mom and my sister and everybody always asking me, like, what's up with that? Why do you do that? And I used to put like a little piece of tape on the end of the stick when I was walking around and talking. And my dog would follow me around if I was outside. And I basically, hold on one second. And basically, they would ask me, what are you doing when you were doing those things? And I would say, well, I am making up stories. Because I was making up stories, imaginative stories. And I was picturing and visualizing these things. I could visualize them. And a lot of times, like sometimes when we were at home on the weekend watching a movie and having dinner and a movie or something, my family would be in the den watching the movie. And right when the movie had like 30 minutes left, I would run upstairs and I would pace around my room and I would make up alternate endings to the movie that they were watching. Sometimes it was a movie I had seen many times before, so I already knew what the ending was, and then I made up my own. Sometimes it's a movie I had never seen before, and I went upstairs anyway and made up my own ending to the movie. Just like that. Like it was like as a child, it was like I didn't even though I was like invested in the movie, I was also like, it doesn't matter to me if I don't see the actual ending. I'm going to go make up my own. And I was watching a YouTube video today on the way home from work, or listening to a YouTube video that was talking about these experiments, government experiments for ESP and stuff they did on children, how they were trying to get children to do remote viewing, which I do believe I have the ability to do, as well as lucid dream, astral project, and have out-of-body experiences, because I believe that I'm still doing those things every single night. And I haven't realized that I've been doing them. And I've had sleep problems my whole life because of it. But I am leaving my body when I go to sleep. I go places and I don't always remember everything. And that's the frustrating part of it. It's like my mind has protected a lot. So I'm trying to uncover these things right now because I want to understand. And there are a lot of weird things that have happened to me. And the memories that I do have from elementary school, some of them are really bizarre. And so I really want to know if other people have had these experiences. Because I think I do have something special. And here's the thing. My brother and sister were put in the gifted program. My brother is 4 years older than me. My sister is 6 years older than me. They were put in a gifted program. I never was. I was never put in a gifted program. I was completely passed over on that. However, I was pulled out of the classroom. I was made to listen to these sounds. I was made to do these things with a group of other kids sometimes, and sometimes it was just me, like, in the front office by myself with the proctor or whoever the person was that had the headphones. I can remember hearing the Monroe tapes, the beginning, having my head down on the brown table with those brown headphones on, and just sitting there like this with my eyes closed and doing whatever it is that the exercise was asking me to do. I have a lot of memories, but I think the most interesting thing about me is the fact that I used to talk to sticks. And this happened and started when I was in elementary school. And my parents just thought I was a very imaginative person. As I've gotten older and I've looked up and read more about ADHD and autism, I have thought to myself that it could be an early indicator of that. But I also truly believe now that it has something to do with the Gateway Tapes and the Gateway program. That I was tapping into some kind of energy or power. I might have even been crossing into different dimensions. I don't know. Because I was pacing around and talking to a stick. But like, there are a few home videos where my mom has video of me pacing around back and forth in the backyard doing this. I was shamed so much for it. And I specifically remember as a child being able to, what I would call, choose my dreams, is what I used to say. I could take myself to the beach in my dreams. I could instantly close my eyes and take myself to another place. And that's what I used to do a lot. And I think that I do it all the time without realizing it. And that's the scary part. That's the scary part.
And that is going to wrap up this week's investigation in Beyond Gate, the Gateway process and the Gateway program. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And don't forget that next week we will be going into a deep dive into the declassified CIA document entitled Analysis and Assessment of Gateway Process. We will get into the content, the details, all 29 pages of research and evidence. Stay tuned for updates this week, and don't forget to follow me on my other socials. Until next time, scattered ones.